this morning to Midwest, and this presentation on sound innovations, the revolutionary new beginning band and beginning string method program. We all know how important the choice of a method book is, not just for us as teachers, but for our students and for integrating our philosophy into the approach that we're going to be using to teach. We've talked to teachers about wanting to have an innovative method. We wanted something new and different. So we decided to change the whole paradigm. Up until now, method books have been generated by an author or a team of authors who have decided the best way to approach this. And they've given us wonderful gifts through these remarkable method books through history that have given students a wonderful opportunity to learn. We decided to shift the whole paradigm and flip it upside down. And what we did is we talked to thousands of teachers, literally thousands of teachers around North America, and said, what is it that you want in a book? What don't you want in a book? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? The answer is sound innovations, for band and for strings. But going on from there, we listened to what they wanted, and we couldn't get everyone to agree on every single thing, so we decided to go farther than that. So you'll have the standard edition of sound innovations for strings and band. Go to the next one. And in that method, you can buy it just like you would from the shelf of any dealer that you're used to buying from. But you can also then go on to the revolutionary director's choice, which we're going to talk about in a few moments. The first time in history that you as a teacher can go online and customize your method to tailor it to be exactly what you want it to be. So then, within months of this, we were fortunate and proud that the National Association of Music Merchants, NAMM, awarded a Best in Show and a Best Tools for School award, which gave us this wonderful feeling that what we were doing was what teachers did want. So here's what they told us. They said clear, uncluttered page layouts. They didn't want 6 colors. They didn't want boxes all over the place. They didn't want 14 different icons and arrows going from various places. They said, though it's pretty to look at, it's too hard for students to isolate what they're doing. They told us that they wanted new concepts to be easily marked with lots of white space around and very few icons to help the students know what they were learning. They told us that they wanted rhythms with subdivision, because many of the teachers said, though it's really easy to get kids to play quarter notes and whole notes, so to speak, with 1, 2, 3, 4, the second you introduce a dot or an eighth note, we have to go back and reteach with subdivision so they understand it. So they said, please give us subdivision right from the get-go. So we did. But they also told us they wanted help with rests. And I can remember this being a problem as well, and that was that students really took it as rest, just fall asleep. So they wanted students to be able to know to count. So what we did is this wonderful idea of a black scale of ink whenever they make a sound, and a gray scale whenever they're resting, to encourage them to subdivide and to count in their head, even though it's silent. They told us that they wanted to know why they were doing exercises, and they liked the notion of goals on every single line. So not only the student knew why they were playing it, but if they were going home to practice, the family members would, and the teacher would as well. Because we all know if a student doesn't know why they're doing an exercise, they skip it. We decided that there was a problem with method books in that we found too much burnout. Students got to the point where they were frustrated. The reason is, one of the newest studies tells us that students quit 78% of the time because they don't think they're good at something. And we thought about that and said, what could we do to use that data to be able to help us with this? And we divided the book into 6 levels, kind of like video games. And at the end of these levels, the students can feel closure, they can feel accomplishment, they can feel success for the teacher and the students. And at the end of each of these 6 levels, we have a little sound check, which is a little assessment tool that the students can use and the teachers can use however you wish as the teacher. Some wanted a rubric of 1 through 4. Some wanted a 0 to 100. Some wanted it to be A through F. No one could decide. They also couldn't decide who would do it. So we left it blank. Just go back to that a second. We left it blank so that you can generate anything you want here and a place for the sticker if you need it. Oboe and horn. Teachers told us, we love the idea of the alternate starting pages for the horn and the oboe, but there was a problem. 4 pages is what method books traditionally use. The problem is, and as the proud father of a horn player, I found this myself, that once they go to page 5, it's like throwing them into the deep end of the pool, and it was great frustration. So we decided to double the number of pages to 8. But even more importantly, the last 2 of those pages are transition pages to get the kids from where they are to where the rest of the band is, to lessen that frustration. Teachers also told us, you've got to help us with the left and right page, which is the way most people set these up, because they had people playing both of them at the same time. So what we did is we separated them, the front of the book, the back of the book, and it works really well. And one little thing I'll throw in, and that is, we didn't like the idea that method books charge more money for oboe and horn players. And I know it's only $1 traditionally, but that, as a dad of a horn player, bothered me a little bit. That here are two instruments we're trying to encourage kids to play, and we're charging them more money. So we don't do that. It's the same price as everybody else. New notes. They said they want them clearly introduced. Well, for band students, sight, sound, and symbol have always matched. And it's always looked something like this, and we've delightfully kept going there. For the string, it's really a revolution. It truly is an innovation. And that is, instead of having a neck at the top with several notes, and the kids have to figure out somewhere on this page they have to play them, we've put sight, sound, and symbol together. So that goes right along the line so they see it and it matches, which I think is a really, really wonderful innovation. Performance music. Teachers all agreed they wanted more performance music. One of the things we tried to do is give different types, so you'll find lots of rounds and duets and trios, solos, large ensemble pieces, for the students to really enjoy what they've already learned. Opportunities for conducting and history and composition and improvisation, following the national and state standards, helping us do what we know we need to integrate into our program. And now, Bob Shelton's going to talk to you a little bit about one of the greatest revolutions in sound innovation, and that is the DVD.
And this truly is a remarkable project. We know that the most popular of the method books have excellent CDs, and many of them have DVDs. So what we've done is we've taken this a step further, and we've made these two products just absolutely incredible. Not only are they more user-friendly than any of the other books, but we think they're musically and pedagogically superior. And I think you'll see why. First of all, let's talk about the DVD. The DVDs on Sound Innovations include some of the most incredible young university professors from all over the country. These are teachers that not only are excellent in the university studio setting, but they've taught beginners for many, many years. They really know how to speak to the beginners. They know how to really engage them. So what our DVD does is it's actually like giving your students master classes with master teachers, not just at the beginning of the book where we're teaching how to put the instrument together, but all the way through the entire book to the end where they're watching their solos being performed by master teachers, and they can play along with them and watch and see how these musicians really interact with the music. The DVDs are filmed in high definition. They are clear. They are just beautiful to watch, but the teaching is such a delight to see. Any teacher who watches all of these instrument-specific DVDs, we have 17 DVDs, if you watch all of them, it's really an incredibly valuable resource. These are some of the teachers, or all of the teachers that we have on our DVDs, and you will probably recognize many of their names. These are renowned teachers and musicians, and they've done a wonderful job for us. Here's an example.
Brass instrument, on tuba in particular. One kind of a slur that you'll notice in a book or in music is a group of notes that will have a line above it. That means that you articulate the first note with a T and just continue your air string and move your fingers for the rest of those notes. So it would sound like this. On the tuba, it'll sound like this.
I'll show you an example of one of our string DVDs as well.
Let's talk about string crossings between the D string and the A string. Place your bow on the D string, and as you pull, I want you to use your wrist in almost a waving motion, just a slight waving motion, to move the bow from one string to the other string. Up, down, up, down. It's almost like a slow wave. And although it's counterintuitive, you would think that the up would be on the A string and the down would be on the D string. It's the reverse. So why don't I show that to you again?
As you can see, these are very engaging, but the best part of this is, since the techniques that are being demonstrated throughout the entire book may not be the thing that's most comfortable for some teachers to teach, watching these is just an invaluable resource. We're just thrilled with this. Second part of the reported accompaniments are the CDs, and this is something that no one else has done before. I'm beginning to wonder why. what has happened with our CDs is not only are they instrument specific, every instrument has their own CD, their own tuning note, it's a CD that's just for that instrument, but we've been able to place all of the accompaniments, every single line of the entire book is recorded, and all of them are on one CD. That means when you get to line 135 in your book, it's track number 135 on the disc. So you're not fumbling around trying to find different CDs and the track numbers don't correlate. This just makes it so much easier. The accompaniments are wonderfully written. The performances are professionally done. We really think the students will have a great time playing along with all of these recordings. It's a great model for tone production as well as expression. The recordings also include full ensemble pieces, which are recorded acoustically live with a full professional ensemble. The accompaniments are in various styles, very easy to play along with, and one of the neatest things is there's a tempo changer right on the disc, so program the students to slow down the music until they have a little more comfortable with it technically, and then they can speed it back up to performance speed. And we have examples that you'll be able to listen to on your CD. Performance music series also accompanies this, correlates with this book. And I've been very proud to be able to write some of the music for this along with Bob Phillips and John O'Reilly. One of the best parts about this new performance series is not only does it correlate with the book, but each of the pieces has within it a series of educational packs for all the different instruments in the ensemble, where every child has an opportunity to play the melody of the piece. They can all study the rhythms of the piece. They understand the expressive elements of the piece. They learn about the articulations. They have all the terminology laid out for them. There's theory lessons. There's composition lessons. There's conducting aspects of this. So as they go through and do this education pack, they really learn the piece from the inside out. And then when you put the piece in front of them, it's very comfortable. In other words, we're setting the students up for success. Many teachers are using smart music, and they want to make sure that any method book they use is on smart music. Not only is Sound Innovations on smart music, but smart music feels so strongly about this project, they are giving away a free subscription for the first 100 lines of music in book one to anyone who would like to play this book with smart music. We have a wonderful online community where teachers already are really using these different methods to interact with each other, find out how everybody else is using this method book, share ideas about teaching and recruitment and retention and other things that they can do by using this book. I'd like to have our author of the percussion part of Sound Innovations come up and speak to you. I'd like to welcome Dave Black.
Thank you, Bob. Good morning. The percussion books come in three formats. There's a snare drum, bass drum, and accessory book. There's a mallet percussion book, and in that book too we introduce timpani, and then we have a combined percussion book. The main goal in writing the percussion books for Sound Innovations was to teach students how to become good percussionists and not just drummers, because we all know that there's a big difference between drummers and percussionists.